Jokamani ke phanga ke inkabikazi a Big Zulu besithi kwelacala bona lilizela thatha ke besibeka ke phake ngakumbi ke kwimizuzu masiyenze 15 minutes bethile phake insimbi ka 7 o'clock shilo ke ndathi ke mphulaphuli weVukane FM sixoxa ke ngomba okanye ke sihlele ke kumba ke apho ke sithe sabona ke i-video that was circulating kwi-social media platforms nalapho ke bonakalisa ke amantombazanana that are based eSparo Child and Youth Care Center khona lamantombazana abetha ke enye ke intombi le video ke ithe yabe ke yenza isankxwe ngakumbi ke eTakastad khokhelela ke abahlali izolo babe ke banyathela ke phake eSparo beyoqonda into yokubana ke ingaba ke kwenzeka ntoni emnqabeni ke. Joining me this morning we have uBishop Emajelem ozawumela ke ngakumbi ke icala labahlali nongomnye ke umuntu othe wabe ke unyathela ke eSparo izolo siva into yokuba ke mhlawumbi ngaba kwenzeke ntoni. Bishop tata masikubulise enkqubeni sikunike lithuba uzibulisele komphulaphuli weVukane FM ngalimini namhlanje.
Mandibulise mamtshawe kuwe, ndibulise kakhulu baphulaphuli bonke beVukane FM Khrisani nakwindawo ezingaphesheya. Ndithi mandinibulise negaphusheke Christ. Inkosi.
Nkosi kakhulu Bishop. And of course live on Zoom and on our Facebook still live. You can catch us live with Facebook page here to Vukani Community Radio. We have Mr. Andrew Flock, a board member from Esparo Child and Youth Center that is based in Takastad. Sir, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Ms. Konza, and to your listeners. Thank you for having us.
All right. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Flock. I know that the issue currently is you are busy with the internal process. But now that it's within the public space and everyone, especially the Takastad community, they want to know what happened, what action has been taken for such incident. We might as well elaborate on that. I want to start from when we saw the video on the social media platforms, where we saw the girls that were beating another girl within your center. And according to the media statement that you released, you said that the incident happened on the 29th of September. And the video started circulating on the 12th of October. Everyone on social media want to know from the 29th of September up until the 12th of October, where the video circulated, what action has been taken by Esparo?
We really, to your first point, we owe the community an answer. And it's good to see the community being involved in these children's lives. So certainly, and I can't think of a much better way to get that message across than through your radio station. Please ask any other questions. I'm going to explain the situation as I understand your question. The incident happened on the 29th. It was, according to our understanding, around about 8 o'clock that evening. Now, it was recorded by another one of the children. It was not reported by Emihle.
Okay.
We have around about 30 children spread over 4 buildings. That's just the way that's the infrastructure we have. And we have 2 full-time child carers there. So 30 children spread over 4 buildings when they sleep, and then the two carers there at night. It was not reported to us either by Emihle or through anyone else. We had no idea. She didn't ask for medical assistance. She didn't report the incident that evening or the next day. On the 12th, the very first time we had notice of this was, of course, when it hit the social media and the WhatsApp groups and so on. So in that 2-week period, we absolutely had no knowledge about it. We couldn't react to it. And if we look back on it now, strangely enough, that relationship between Emitle and the three people who assaulted her, the three children who assaulted her, went on as normal. They have a good relationship. We would have called them friends before this incident.
Mm.
Obviously, on the 12th, when that happened, to the second part of your question, a whole range of things have been implemented since the 12th. For example, the three children who assaulted her have been expelled. There's an internal investigation that you alluded to. A criminal case has been opened. We are working very closely with the Department of Social Development. We want to do this as openly as possible. You know, to anyone who has seen that video, it is awful. It is harrowing to see, to hear her cries, and to see a child being abused like that. I've spoken to other board members who've been around a few years. Sparrows have been open since 2000. The board members, our memory stretches back to 2014. This is the first such incident, and it is absolutely awful to experience. We can just imagine. Emitle herself, um, we cannot trace any physical medical situation, any physical injuries. Obviously, that's only part of the question. We have spoken to her children there, including Emitle has got access to a social worker for purposes of care, of therapy. So, and as I say, we really have opened the doors to the Department of Social Development and pretty much anyone who wants to contribute to this. We regard ourselves as a community organization. We do this work with community children and for the children. So there's certainly no secrecy involved, or we're not trying to hide this awful incident. There's far too much of it. If we look at social media and the media, our schools just seem to be. It is awful to see young people
Mm.
assaulting each other, beating each other like this. And it seems to have really, there's so many of these incidents countrywide. We have to work at it. Something certainly needs to be done about this.
Mm. I'm glad, Mr. Flock, that you've mentioned that the girls that were involved assaulting Emihle were held accountable, because since the video circulated and people were asking what happened to the girls that assaulted Emihle, because they were also concerned based on the media statement that was released, and I quote, where the statement said, and they have made peace and apologized to each other. I think that's what caught the listeners' attention. Did they make peace and apologize only? What happened? What did Usparos do? So I'm glad that you have clarified that, and also the girls that were assaulting Emihle were held accountable. Again, another question that I also saw, especially from the resident of Utakstad, that was concerning that there are other incidents that are similar to this that are happening or might be happening within the center. Now I want to know, were there any similar incidents that were reported to the center? And also, I understand that you've done one-on-one interviews with all the girls that were involved within the incident. Did you catch that this might happen or that might be happening within the center?
Absolutely not. I know the allegations have been made, and again, we are absolutely open to that, but understandably, we will need information about that. If anyone wants to come forward, if they want to provide us with detail of that, you see, we have these children are very vulnerable, and we very much focused on their protection. These are the most vulnerable children in a society. So they have access to, for example, the Department of Social Development have quarterly visits. The children themselves have access to social workers, to outsiders, to their parents, for example, on a weekly basis. So, and then of course to us, report incidents like this. We have, and this was one of the first things that I wanted to investigate, was how prevalent is this? Are there others? Is this an isolated incident? And as I say, in going back in our memory on the information we have at this stage, this is the first incident as far as we can record. We must, what tends to support that for me at this stage of the investigation is that the 3 children who were assaulted immediately, they claimed at the time when we interviewed them, they claimed to have wanted to punish her because she was late. She didn't come back to the school, to Sparrows. So of course, that's not acceptable. Of course, that doesn't justify what they did, but that is what, to their minds, what they were doing. So again, that supports that it's an isolated incident. This is their friend at the time who did something who they regarded as wrong, and in this very wrong way that they tried to fix. Of course, that's not a defense. Of course, that's not acceptable to us. That doesn't justify their behavior. We are certainly very open to either evidence of others, of any patterns. I'd like to think that it's a smallish little community of 30 children. If there were patterns like this, if this was a problem, I'd like to think that somewhere, someone would speak up. And it's not, I don't want to alarm the community. I just don't think that at this stage to say that yes, there were other incidents without stepping up, without substantiating that. I think that's not necessary. That doesn't help the situation.
All right. Phulaphuli, that was Mr. Andrew Flock, a board member from Sparrows Child and Youth Center based in Takastad. Just to summarize for our listeners at home, ucacisile banzi into yokubana ukwenzeka kwesiganeko sisele sizukuthi ga ngoku sibe siyasibona ivideo apho uEmihle ebethwa ngalamantombazanana khange ibe lento ibe iyaripotwa. Bona bothuke besisparrow beyibona ke kumakhasi onxibelelwano. Kwaye abantwana babethu Emihle sithetha nje ba-expeliwe. Bishop Majele mandize kuwe tata, ningabahlali izolo ninyathele eSparrows. Nifike imeko injani? Nimbonile uEmihle, Bishop?
Msawe siyile eSparrows izolo. Ngelishwa ukwamkeleka kwethu khange kube kuhle. Ngoba sichithe about 2 hours more silindile obangabana sifumane impendulo kwi-manager, sifumane impendulo kwi-board members ezingekhoyo ezingakhange zifike ngelo xesha. Bafike kanye ngexesha kufika u-social development from regional department, befika nabo bezobuza ngale nto. Kodwa ke bathe befika ke sabe sikwazi ukuxolisa sibuze imibuzo about yonke le nto. Into evise kabuhlungu ke nengakhange ibe mnandi into bangabana impendulo asizifumananga ncakasana kwaye yonke nokuxolo ngale nto yenzekileyo. And xa sibuza imibuzo siyafumanisa ukuba ngabana kungenzeka ukuthi le nto ibingaqali ukwaziwa ngabo ngala 12 as i-statement sabo sisitsho uba i-incident yenzeke nge-29 kaSeptemba. So isinika ingqondo ethi ke loo nto behleli beyazi bona. Futhi ke ngoku if ibingakhange ivele kumakhasi onxibelelwano ngohlobo yenzeke ngalo, mhlawumbi ke into esingekayazi nathi ngoku kube khona i-incident yenzekile umntana bethiwe eSparrows. Kona ke isu le i-sensitive ngoba inabantwana futhi ine-credibility yendawo ehlala abantwana efuneka siyijongile into abangabana imeko yayithina. Kodwa besiyidinga yona impendulo, sisazi okuba ngabana kwenzeka ntoni na, kungathi kanti kunezinye izinto ezikumila kunjena okanye ezi-worse ezenzekayo phaya ezinyathelwayo. Kodwa ke into esiphume nayo ke yonke loo nto izolo sikwazile ukumisela ikomiti yexeshana ezakwazi ukungena nzulu ke iphande ngezinto okanye nge-day to day running yaphaya eSparrows. Loo komiti inikwe iintsuku ezisixhenxe ukuze ibuye neripoti uba ngabana kwenzeke ntoni. Kuka-Emihle into esifumene into uba ngabana kwindawo ususiwe eSparrows, sarekhomenda nathi kulaa meeting inyanzelise uba ngabana makuvulwe ikheyisi ngoba i-crime has been committed. Ngoba kuyacaca uba ngabana leyo nto ibingeyonto ebisezingqondweni zabo uba bavule ikheyisi for leya nto eyenzeke phayana. So sarekhomenda uba makuvulwe ikheyisi ukwenzela into yoba ngabana umthetho udlala indawo yawo kuyo yonke le incident eyenzekileyo.
Ndifuna ukujonga ke because everyone ngoku on social media ngokujonga kwam bathi #justice4Emihle. And now that Mr. Flock esicacisela into yokubana aba bantwana that were involved kule assault have been expelled from isenta le, nonelisekile nina? Are you happy as i-residents zaseThakastad?
Asingeke soneliseke mamtshana, asingeke soneliseke ncam ngoba into esiyaziyo aba bantwana bonke isizathu soba babe seSparrows ba-vulnerable bonke. Isizathu soba babe-seSparrows ba-exposed kwi-trauma bonke, even naba sithi bazi-perpetrators nabo ngokwabo kunezinto abadlule kuzo, kunezinto ezibanyanzelisayo uba ngabana babe seSparrows, which means nabo banetrauma yabo. Kodwa ke into esivuyela kakhulu into yoba ngabana zibe khona i-social workers ezisuka from i-region. Also, there was a psychologist from education that was there. So sanethemba ke ngoku into yoba ngabana as much as uba ngabana ikhesi izawuvulwa but izinto kuzawudilwa nazo ngokwendlela ebalulekileyo ezawukwenza aba bantwana bonke bangabi exposed ekubeni babe ngamaxhoba kwakhona. Ngoba if umzekelo sizawuthetha ngoba kuvulwe ikhesi mhlawumbi ke kufuneka babanjwe abantwana and esitratweni aba bantwana bazawuba ngamaxhoba, kuzawuphinda kube enye i-chaos futhi, phinde kubekho enye abuse phezu kwenye abuse. So asanelisekanga ncam but sivuyela nje into yoba ngabana kukhona into eyenzekayo futhi kukhona i-direction eyithathayo.
Ndifuna ukujonga kulo mba, Bishop, ikheyisi lena nifuna ningabahlali ivulwe siSparrows against abantwana babethe uEmihle okanye kwenzeka ntoni? Khawusicacisele kulo mba.
The crime has been committed, mamtshawe.
Yes.
Ekugqibeleni umntana wabantu ubethiwe and ubethwa ngabantu sibabone evidweni abanye abantwana. So the case must be open against them.
Okay.
Kodwa ke ngoku indlela yokuhandlisha the case bazawuyazi u-SAPS, uzawuyazi i-social workers uba how do they deal with abantwana abazi-offenders.
All right. Bishop Tata Masibulele nawe ngexesha lakho, and also Mr. Flock, thank you sir for joining us. I believe ukuthi there's more to this issue, and our program Imbadu, where we have enough time so that also community when a bishop can also be part of the conversation. We need to take this issue to our program Imbadu at night. But thank you so much, Mr. Flock, for joining us this morning, and also Bishop Masibulele Tata ngexesha lakho.
Thank you for having us.
Nkosi kakhulu. Right, mphulaphuli weVukani FM, sijonge phaa ke ngakumbi ke